Hey there, welcome back to the cave. This is Bill Straw with Modern Thirst. I'm down here doing a little more editing, and I got a new bottle in yesterday that I thought I'd do a quick review for you. This is the Elijah Craig Small Batch Straight Rye Whiskey. If you remember, this was announced a couple of months ago, and the public, at least locally, wasn't all that receptive to it because this is the second major release in the last few months that Heaven Hill has brought out and not brought to the state of Kentucky where it's made and where their most fervent fans are. I don't know why they do that. They've released a statement that said a lot and didn't really say anything about why it made sense. The bottom line is I think it's a really bad idea. It's a bad business decision, and they do risk alienating some of their core fans and core consumers, which is more important than that. Regardless, we're going to give this a taste. I'm going to taste it. This is solely based on what's in the bottle. It doesn't have anything to do with availability in which state. This is a rye whiskey. You probably know Elijah Craig, longtime favorite for a lot of people. It's a really affordable but yet very good whiskey. It's always 94 proof on the standard small batch offerings. They do have barrel proof offerings and some single barrels, and those can vary a bit. But just like the bourbon, this one is 94 proof. The mash bill on this one is 51% rye, 35% corn, and 14% malted barley, and that makes this a Kentucky-style rye. And by Kentucky-style, again, all we mean is that they have the minimum amount of rye allowed for still to be a rye whiskey. So it has to be over 50%, and this is 51% rye. So generally, Kentucky ryes tend to taste a lot like a high rye bourbon. They have a lot of bourbon characteristics and a lot of that sweetness. I've already tasted this one a little bit, as you can see. But the retail price on this is going to be $29.99. And I mentioned it's not available in Kentucky. This is going to launch sometime this month in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Oregon. No idea when it rolls out elsewhere or where it rolls out after that. But with that in mind, let's get to the tasting, because I'm sure that's what you're all here for. Modern Thirst coins, still available. So on the nose, this has a very unexpected nose for me. I expected this to be much closer to the Rittenhouse and to the Pikeville rye, and I think what we'll probably do for one of our next couple of videos is we'll probably compare this to those, the other Heaven Hill ryes, and we'll also do a side-by-side comparison on this with the Old Forester rye, because they both came out within the last year. They're both in that $30 price range, and they're both entirely new releases from a lineup, new expressions of a core lineup. So let's give this one a smell. On the nose, there's something kind of sharp and crisp on this, and it's very minty. This is a spearmint. It's not a menthol. Menthol I get with some of the newer distilleries. Don't know what causes it, but I really find it to be a turnoff. This one is spearmint, so it's very different. And this one is a very unique smell as well. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's almost like a spearmint, like a wintergreen gum that you would grab at the grocery store. There's a little bit of citrus on top of it, and that kind of rye pepper. I don't get a ton of oak on the nose. Elijah Craig bourbon is they say it's between, I don't know, like 9 and 10, 11 years old now. It used to have the 12-year-old age statement. But I always get a little bit of sweet oak on that one, and I'm not really getting it on this. It could just be that kind of mintiness is overpowering it a little bit. Maybe just a hint of bubblegum. Yeah, not a lot of oak. And just a hint of a sweet candied citrus, like when you open up a can of peaches when you were a kid at lunch, and the simple syrup with the orange and peach flavors to it is kind of what I get out of this. Yeah, but overall that mintiness is the predominant smell for me. And that carries right through to the tasting. This is, first impression is that it's a whiskey flavored with mouthwash. This is an odd one. I did try this myself next to the Old Forester, and it's not just a palate issue tonight or yesterday, and it's definitely something unique to this one. That spearmint, wintermint, wintergreen type flavor, very, very dominant on this. Behind that, it's a little bit of a struggle. There is some black pepper, kind of what you would expect from a rye. A little bit of black pepper, a little bit of that lemon zest and kind of orange, candied orange note that you get from a lot of ryes. What I'm not getting is the corn. At 35%, I expected a little bit more sweetness. I'm not getting that. And I'm also not getting a ton of barrel influence on this. Get a little bit on the finish, which I would say medium to short. It does have a decent mouthfeel. A lot of ryes tend to be really thin. This one, however, is fairly creamy. But it's one thing I would say, it's a very light drinking rye. It's that kind of mint and a quick little burst of flavors, and then it kind of just, it's kind of gone. It's a little dry finish, a little quick finish. Despite coating the mouth, the flavors don't really seem to linger a whole lot. A little bit of that kind of circus peanuts, almost cotton candy. You just get those, oddly enough, with a lot of the pre-Fire Heaven Hill weeded bourbons. I don't get it with a lot of their rye stuff, but I feel like I might get a touch of it on this one. So most of the way through the glass, and I've had, I don't know, a fifth of the bottle at most so far over the last 2 nights. The one thing that I have to say about this is I'm a little bit disappointed. It's not as bold a flavor as I expected it to be. If you've had the Rittenhouse and you've had the Pikeville, you know that they make a good rye whiskey. This one's really one-dimensional to me. It's very light. It's one-dimensional. That mintiness is not something I really love. And overall, I tend to think it's kind of a disappointing offering. I really think they could do better than this. But we'll put it up against, we'll do some blind tastings against the Rittenhouse and against the Pikesville. Now, it's gonna struggle a little bit with those because it's lower proof than those. They're 100 and 110. And we'll also try it against the Old Forester, which is 100 proof. So we'll see how it compares to the two. I think the Old Forester and this one are gonna jockey a lot for shelf position because they're both the same price, they're both brand new, and they're from established names. But we'll give them a head-to-head here in the next couple of weeks on both counts and see if this stands up. But by and large, I'm not loving this. It's not something I'm going to run out and buy if I'm in North Carolina or South Carolina or something like that. And if it doesn't come to Kentucky, I guess it's not that big of a deal. And maybe that's why they didn't offer it here. Maybe they felt like the flavor profile wouldn't work in Kentucky. I don't know. Regardless. Let us know if you get a chance to try this. Let us know what you think of it. If you like what we're doing, please check us out at patreon.com/ModernThirst. We really, really could use any help you can give us. It costs us a lot to run the site. It costs us a lot to maintain the website and the YouTube account and all the equipment and services that go along with it. And any little bit helps. $1 a month, $2 a month, anything is great. There's different tiers, so you can get Modern Thirst coins and Modern Thirst t-shirts depending on which level you sign up for. So if you can give us a hand, we'd appreciate it. Otherwise, check us out at ModernThirst.com. We've got hundreds of whiskeys reviewed on the site. We're always trying to add more, trying to add a lot more video content this year as well. So this will be one of our early entrants in 2020. So if you happen to get this, let us know what you think. Comment here, comment on the website. Cheers. Have a great day.